What's up guys? Welcome back to Today 365. This is our monthly Read-Aloud series where we dive into an awesome book, share thoughts, and grow together. So today we're reading Chapter 5, The Robot Gravesite. Let's get into it and see what goes down. Chapter 5, The Robot Gravesite. Those otters were now hiding behind a rock. Their round heads nervously poked up, and they watched as a sparkling monster emerged from the crate. The monster slowly turned her head as she scanned the coastline. Her head turned and turned, and it didn't stop turning until she was looking right at the otters. "Hello, otters. My name is Roz." The robot's voice was simply too much for the skittish creatures. The biggest otter squeaked, and the whole gang suddenly took off. They galloped back across the robot gravesite, flopped into the ocean, and raced through the waves just as fast as they could. Roz watched the otters go, but her eyes lingered on the sparkling objects that littered the shore. The objects looked strangely familiar. The robot swung her left leg forward, then her right, and just like that she was taking her very first steps. She stomped away from her crate, and over the rocks and through the gravesite until she was standing above a broken robot body. She leaned in and noticed the word "Rosin" lightly etched on the torso. She noticed the same word on all the torsos, including her own. Roz continued exploring the gravesite until a playful little ocean wave washed over the rocks. She automatically stepped away from it. Then a bigger wave sloshed toward her, and she stepped away again. And then a gigantic wave crashed over the rocks and engulfed the entire gravesite. Heavy water pounded against her body and knocked her to the ground, and her damaged sensors flared for the first time. A moment later, the wave was gone, and Roz lay there, dripping and dented and surrounded by that robot. Roz could feel her survival instincts, the part of her computer brain that made her want to avoid danger and take care of herself so she could continue functioning properly. Her instincts were arguing her to move away from the ocean. She carefully got to her feet and saw that high above the shore. The land was bursting with trees and grasses and flowers. It looked lush and safe up there. It looked like a much better place for our robot. She had just one problem. To get up there, she would have to climb the sea cliffs. Here's a short recap of this chapter, The Robot Gravesite. In this chapter, we meet Roz, a robot trying to help others. Now that she could speak, all she had to do was complete the task, but there was one problem. She had to climb the cliffs to reach the wild forest. Roz tried to help, but first, she had to reach the wild forest up the cliffs. How can she climb the rocky cliffs and make it to the wild forest? Curious about what's next? Here's a sneak peek. Roz is heading into the wild forest, far from the sea of broken robots. Things are about to get more exciting. See you soon.